Hey everybody, Justin here with another great song for parents and teachers of preschool age kids. This is Passover song number 3 in the series of songs I use to teach the Passover story to young children. We've already talked about how the slaves in Egypt had to work so hard and how Moses asked Pharaoh to let them go and he said no. And then I say to the children, well, God decided to give Moses some help. And he sent some things to Egypt that Pharaoh would not like. Some things that Pharaoh would find kind of yucky. So Pharaoh woke up one day, and what do you think he saw everywhere? And they say, what? And we say, frogs! Imagine frogs on everything. Frogs in your bed, frogs on your head, frogs in the bathtub, frogs in the refrigerator, frogs in the playground, everywhere frogs. And then we sing this song. One morning when Pharaoh awoke in his bed, there were frogs in his bed and frogs on his head, frogs on his nose and frogs on his toes, frogs here, frogs there, frogs were jumping everywhere, saying ribbit, ribbit. We get them all saying ribbit, and then we say, well, Pharaoh still wouldn't change his mind, so God sent something else he wouldn't like. Bugs. Big, fat, long bugs called locusts that got in everybody's hair, ooh, and got in their clothes, ooh, and ate up all the food. One morning when Pharaoh awoke in his bed, there were bugs in his bed and bugs on his head, bugs on his nose and bugs on his toes. Bugs here, bugs there, bugs were buzzing everywhere. Bzz, 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 bzz. Those two plays alone are usually good for this song. You can also add a third verse about lice. Pretty gross, but you can have lice on the head and in the bed, and then lice are itching everywhere. And then I also have a puppet who's a lion. And so we would talk about the wild beasts and talk about lions being in the bed and on the head, and that gets very silly, and the kids get a kick out of that. So that's how we deal with the plagues. I don't deal with the river of blood and the death of the firstborn with children 6 and under. Some of them know about it, but it's something that is very tricky to introduce. So I stick to these more playful topics in the plagues, and then from there, we move on to Daenu.